Hello, welcome to Three Questions With. Got my friend Adela with us from Switchback Accounting. Good morning, Adela. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Great to be here, Kevin.
I have lots of questions for you today because you'll be watching TV and you'll see this ad come on. Do you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS? We can help you. And I watched that. I'm like, how do you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS? So that's my first question. How does this happen?
It happens usually with small business owners who don't have the access to the information and the resources they need to like figure out the IRS's game. So either they won't file their taxes, they won't file their tax returns, or they will file their tax returns and not pay because they don't know how to negotiate with the IRS.
So now you also see ads where you can only pay pennies on the dollar. And I'm thinking, wow, that's amazing. I owe $100,000 and I can pay some very small, minuscule amount of that. And then we can start over. Does that really happen? Do they really forgive that much money?
It's slightly more complicated than that, but yes, if you have a taxpayer who owes that much money and really cannot afford to pay it over the 10 years that the IRS has to collect, then yeah, they could put it in an offer and compromise and say, hey, here are my assets, here are my liabilities, here's my equity. I really here's also my income and my expenses. I really don't have the money and I will not come up with the money to pay you. So let's make a deal and let's agree on a lower amount.
I find that fascinating and stuff because it's almost like it pays to not pay in some cases.
It sounds like it, but actually this is the IRS has a really bad rep, but they actually don't want to be the ones swooping in and taking away a person's primary home or the money that they need to feed their children. So they would rather come up with a compromise than be the bad guys in the media.
But let's step back to the beginning. When you
Mm-hmm.
get that letter, you should reach out and take action because a lot of people just like, if I don't open it, I never saw it type of mentality. And that's silly, right? You should just reach out to someone like yourself. Hey, here's the letter. This is my situation. Now let's make a plan rather than waiting for them to eventually maybe garnish your wages.
Definitely. Yeah, you don't want to go to you don't want to ignore it till it gets to that stage because like you said, once if all that the issue is that you owe a ton of money and there's no lien on any of your assets, there's no wage garnishment, there's less work to do to untangle your mess.
But that's the advice though, is to take action because you mentioned it before the show. A lot of people are afraid of the IRS because just they get such a bad image through television and just people's stories. You think someone's sitting and go, I can go take Kevin's house. This is going to be a great day for us. That, like you said, that's not their goal. They just want you to pay your fair share, right?
Well, they want you to pay your fair share, but actually what they really want is they want you to be more compliant. So if you owe taxes from 10 years ago, they would rather strike a deal with you on that with the promise that you're going to be compliant from today and forward.
And that's the key, obviously, to be compliant because I'm sure they're checking. If they made a deal with you, they're going to make sure you file your taxes next year, right?
Yes, yeah. If you strike a deal with them and then you fall behind and you don't file your tax returns, then the deal's off.
Yeah. And that's important, like you said, because you're making that payment over the next few years and you violate the contract, then, like I said, it's going to end badly for you. So if people are watching and they're like, that's me, I need help, what's the best way to reach out to you?
My website, www.switchbackaccounting.com. Book a call. Let's talk. Let's figure out what happened over here and let's come up with a plan of action.
Adela, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate this.